Thursday morning. Welcome into the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. It is the Ryan Hickey Show with you right here on this gorgeous Thursday morning, and a very special Thursday morning. It's not just an ordinary Thursday. It's not just another March 11th on the calendar. This is a special day in sports history. This time last year, exactly 1 year ago, March 11th, 2020, is when really the world as we know changed. So when Rudy Gobert, his coronavirus test came back positive, the NBA after tonight or after this time last year suspended the season, and as we know, did not resume again until they were down in the bubble in Orlando a few months later. So just crazy to think how both, I don't know how you feel, but at least me personally, now realizing it's been a year, both how it's been the quickest year, because honestly, I feel like it just happened yesterday. I feel like I can remember it like it was yesterday, where I was sitting, my reaction on the couch watching. It's like, wow, is this really happening? And then also at the same time, the slowest year that's ever gone by, because, man, I know I'm not alone in wishing all of this was over very shortly. We can get on to normal life again. But we are getting there, which is a good thing. Positivity here is what we like to preach and what we like to work on the Worldwide Sports Network, especially on the Ryan Hickey Show. I'm an eternal optimist, sometimes to my own detriment, but I always like to look at the bright side, and that's what we're going to do here. It's crazy how far we've come from a year ago today, and hopefully we never go back to one of those days ever again. So we're coming to you live, as we always are, from the Big Italy Pizzeria Studios, with its great pizza, hot heroes, and phenomenal dinners. Check out Big Italy Pizzeria in person in Medford, Joe's Pizzeria in Bayshore, or online at BigItalyPizza.com. A great show, a jam-packed show, a fun show, because we are celebrating that sports are back. It is so great. A year ago on the anniversary of that, again, the NBA shut down, and then as we know, sports, as we know, shut down. We'll talk about a lot of sports. Dak Prescott, brand new deal. Well, in my mind, him signing the deal, it's going to facilitate, it's going to force one team that is already very desperate to make a massive move. I think there's one big move, and I'm not talking about Deshaun Watson. I think there's one big move left that's going to happen. I'll tell you who that team is and what move they can make. We'll do that in 15 minutes at 9:20. 9:40, I want to ask a question. Why can't the Utah Jazz win it all? As we get going here, the second half of the NBA season really starting tonight with a lot of other teams now returning after the All-Star break. I feel like every reason you want to give as to why they should be able to win, they do. But yeah, no one's really believing in them. I'm a believer. I'd love to hear if you're a believer. We'll get into that. Top of the second hour, 10 o'clock Eastern. Are there too many three-pointers in the NBA? A very talented writer over at ESPN wrote an article talking to NBA executives, NBA coaches, NBA general managers, league insiders, talking about the revolution that is a three-point shot. Is it hurting the game? We will discuss. 10:20, we'll do a little fun game of contender or pretender. Are these teams who had a very solid, even surprising people first half of the year, can they keep it up in the second half of the year? We'll discuss that as well. But the big news of the week, we will start with the Dallas Cowboys, and we will start with Dak Prescott. They, as you know, I'm sure by now, happening, of course, as it always does, a few hours after the show ends on Monday, they come to a long-term deal. Now, I'll say this before I get into my thought. Never thought this day would happen. I thought for sure I had it resigned in my head. They are going to play. Dak is going to play in the franchise tag in 2021. He's going to be free agent in 2022 and play elsewhere. I did not see a contract extension coming, because to me, Dak's price is only going to go up. Dallas couldn't make it work last year. It's only going to get more expensive as the cap is reduced this year. Now we know the final cap number of $182.5 million. The cap's going down. Dak's price is going up. I did not think personally a deal would get done, but here we are. It got done. But it's interesting because the reaction initially after the deal was over, after it's announced that they've come to a long-term agreement with Dak Prescott. After you hear the numbers, and we'll get to those in a second, there's a lot of praising Dak Prescott that he beat Jerry Jones. He took Jerry Jones to the woodshed in terms of negotiations. He won out. This is a slam dunk, if you will, for Dak Prescott slamming on Jerry Jones' head by getting the contract, getting what he wants. But here's the way I look at it. The more you look at the deal, the numbers, the options, to me, this is a deal the Cowboys absolutely won. There's no doubt in my mind. This Dallas deal is a massive win more for the Cowboys than it is for Dak Prescott for two reasons. Number one, they were able to sign their man on a relatively team-friendly deal. And number two, they got the best quarterback available. They got the best quarterback available. So I'll break down both those reasons. Number one, team-friendly deal. Here's our name. So here are the numbers, as I'm sure you know by now. Just to reiterate, four-year deal for Dak Prescott, $160 million, $126 that guaranteed. $126 million guaranteed, a $66 million signing bonus, the largest in NFL history. Could you imagine, by the way, signing a piece of paper, boom, there's 66 large in your bank account? Not a bad day to be Dak Prescott. I'll take that day. My boss is here at Worldwide Sports and Eric Arrow. If you're listening, if you want to, give me a $66 million signing bonus, wouldn't be opposed. So that obviously Dak's a winner right there, and his bank account's a big winner. But here's what that massive signing bonus does for the Cowboys and why it helps them, to me, in my mind, win this deal and work out better for them than it does for Dak. That massive signing bonus helps basically make the rest of the contract very team-friendly. Spread the money out over 4 years. A lot of it is upfront right away. But a lot of it upfront right away means you can spread it out through the rest of the 4 years. And what does that do? 2021 especially. Let's look at what Dak's cap is going to be for this year. His cap hit for 2021, and again, in a year when the salary cap decreased than normal, $22.2 million is Dak's cap hit. Now, counter that with if they didn't get the deal done and he just played on the franchise tag is $37.7 million. So by getting the deal done, the Cowboys saved themselves on the cap for 2021 $15 million. Every penny counts, and $15 million of them will go a long way in this offseason to make the team better. And when you look at that $22.2 million cap hit that Dak is on the books for in 2021, look at where that ranks in terms of NFL quarterbacks in 2021. He's 13th. 13th. In terms of quarterback salary in 2021. That is lower than Teddy Bridgewater. That's lower than Ben Roethlisberger. Look at what a team in the division, the Eagles, are paying Carson Wentz not to be there. When the Eagles traded Carson Wentz, the dead cap hit for them this year is $33.8 million. The Rams, they got rid of Jared Goff. They bring in Matthew Stafford with that dead cap hit for the Rams trading Jared Goff. Jared Goff was still in the books for the Rams in 2021 for $22.2 million. So the Cowboys, in spreading out the money and giving a lot of the money up front to Dak, now have him in terms of quarterback salary on an average annual basis. For 2021, he is 13th. He has a lesser cap hit than guys like Teddy Bridgewater and Big Ben, who, I mean, no doubt, no hot takes here, no real question. He's better than both of them at both their stages of their career. The Eagles and the Rams are paying more or equal to Dak's deal for 2021 for quarterbacks not on the roster. So yeah, this is a massive team-friendly deal for the Cowboys. This is massive for them to be able to keep their costs low in terms of a yearly basis while still getting a very good quarterback to lead them. And so, yes, when you look at the whole of the contract, look at this $160 million, you look at the $126 million guaranteed. Yes, he's currently right now, as we sit in today's NFL, the second highest paid quarterback behind only Patrick Mahomes. But guess what that's going to do? That's going to change, and that's going to change very quickly. Because you look at guys like Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, MVP under his belt. Josh Allen had an incredible 2020 season. All of those guys could get extension either this offseason or next offseason. And there's no doubt when that comes, this year or next year, those guys will surpass Dak Prescott. How the quarterback market works is you jump the next guy. You surpass the next guy. So I fully believe Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, all three of those guys at least will surpass Dak Prescott and his contract by this time next year. Factor in Kyler Murray with the Cardinals, maybe he gets an extension. There's going to be plenty of young quarterbacks getting paid soon to where that Dak Prescott contract is going to look like a steal sooner rather than later. And let's not forget, too, the cap obviously went down in 2021 because of the pandemic in 2020. Well, that cap is going to explode, and it's going to explode quick. New TV money coming in. You hear, owners of some teams embracing and preparing for full stadiums again this fall. The money is going to be coming in, and it's going to be coming in hot. So that cap's going to go up. And again, that cap number for Dak is going to look minuscule to what he's giving you on the field. So number one, to me, that's one of the biggest reasons why I think the Cowboys are a massive winner in this. They get a very good quarterback for a team-friendly deal because they pay a lot of money up front. A lot of money up front. Number two, when you look at the other options they have, if it wasn't going to be Dak, right? If they weren't able to get a long-term deal done, if it's play on the franchise tag in 2021, then see you later, go somewhere else. When you look at the other options the Cowboys could have had at quarterback, boy, did Dak Prescott all of a sudden look like the belle of the ball? Did he look like Cinderella? Because compared to what you could have had or what you could have, man, does he look good? Is he an elite quarterback? No. Is he a top 5 quarterback? No. But top 10 is pretty good compared to what you look at the other options could have been. Let's just say this, right? Let's just get the pipe dreams out of the way first. As you mentioned, Dak was going to be in the franchise tag in 2021 no matter what, right? So with that said, him being here for 1 year in Dallas, if a deal wasn't able to get done, that to me would have meant a Russell Wilson trade, although very unlikely to begin with just because of the history of the two franchises where, remember Earl Thomas coming over after a game in which the Seahawks played at Dallas, coming over to Jason Garrett, say, hey, come get me if you can. There was rumors that, Jamal Adams wanted to go to the Cowboys. Well, the Seahawks swooped right in there, picked him up from the Jets. There's some bad blood between the Cowboys and the Seahawks. I don't think a Russell Wilson trade would have happened anyway. But even with Dak there for 1 year, I don't think that trade is happening because the Seahawks aren't going to take someone of a lesser talent than Russell Wilson and someone who you have to pay more money to than Russell Wilson. So I don't think a Russell Wilson trade was ever happening for the Cowboys. I don't think a Deshaun Watson trade is ever happening for the Cowboys. So you take those two pipe dreams out of it, right? Obviously, two would be obvious upgrades to Dak, but take those two pipe dreams out, take those two pie in the sky possibilities out. What are you left with? Because Dak as your quarterback in 2021, the team would have been too good to get a top 5 pick. The team wouldn't have been able to tank, so you couldn't get the next highest, quarterback in the draft in 2022. The free agency draft, the free agency market, especially this year, obviously it'll be different next year, but this year especially, a lot of quantity, not a lot of quality. And not to mention, you look at even the draft this year, if the Cowboys want to get crazy, sitting at number 10, draft a quarterback to sit behind Dak Prescott for a year and then move on from him. When you look at mock drafts already, there's a big run on quarterbacks early. There is a legitimate chance here, depending on what teams like the Falcons, teams like the Lions do. There could be an opportunity or potential where even though the Cowboys are sitting at 10th in the draft, they could be without a quarterback. There could be 5 quarterbacks taken in the first 9 picks. So even though you have a top 10 pick, you're almost too low to draft a quarterback this year and sit him down for a year behind Dak. So when you look at the other options, the other potential opportunities the Cowboys had, it was slim to none. Slim to none. So that's why in my mind, when you look at the other options that they had, they got the best quarterback available. So absolutely, obviously, look, Dak's a big winner here. I'm not trying to take anything away. He got a deal. He got more money than he would have gotten if he signed last year. But he didn't need to make this deal. He could have went to free agency and got even more money next year than he would have gotten this year. But the Cowboys were able to get a deal done. And because it's the way it was structured, team-friendly deal. And when you look at the other options, this was the best guy. They were able to lock down the best quarterback available to them, which is massive. At least they are competitors for the next 3 or 4 years. I don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl personally. I don't think this move all of a sudden elevates the ceiling any differently in Dallas in terms of Super Bowl aspirations. But it keeps you in the conversation, keeps you in the mix. You're not going to be a total dumpster fire going 5-11 or 4-12 the next 3 or 4 years. So that's why, at least to me, in my mind, it is a big win for the Cowboys. Obviously, Dak got his money. He got paid. Very happy for it. And he deserves it. But when we're talking about Dak taking Jerry Jones to the cleaners, Dak winning this deal, running circles around Jerry Jones. Look, Jerry's had some weird things. I'm not a big fan of his negotiating style. But at the end of the day, to me, this is a massive, massive, massive win for the Cowboys. A bigger win for them than it is for Dak. So I'm curious your thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you agree? When you look at it, did Dak really win this deal? because he was going to get paid anyway. And honestly, he's probably going to get more money on the free agent market next year than signing this deal. Was he the big winner in getting guaranteed money for the next 4 years? Or is this the Cowboys that are winning? Is this the Cowboys that should be celebrating because they're able to get one of the best quarterbacks, probably actually the best quarterback available to them? They're able to lock him down on a relatively team-friendly deal. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Facebook, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Twitter, WWSRN_radio, WWSRN_radio. You can comment right there on the live stream on Periscope. At Ryan Hickey Show if you want to tweet the show handle directly. Also, you can find the live stream of the show on that Twitter feed as well. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Facebook, Twitter. Do you think the Cowboys won this deal with Dak Prescott? Do you agree with me? Because the large majority says Dak won. Dak embarrassed Jerry. Dak is the big winner here. I'm saying it's the Cowboys that are the big winner. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Again, Facebook, Worldwide Sports Network, Twitter, WWSRN_radio, at Ryan Hickey Show on Twitter as well. We'll come back, or we'll get your thoughts, And when we come back, I want to discuss why the Dak Prescott signing now, taking another quarterback off the board, in my mind, in my belief, I believe this is going to perpetuate and this is going to force a massive trade to go down. I think we are not done in the quarterback carousel. I'm not talking about Deshaun Watson. I think one team is going to make a massive splash, especially now because Dak's off the market. I'll tell you who the team is, what move they can make when the Ryan Hickey Show returns right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.